Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gfinity Arena in London. It's Championship Sunday in the Hearthstone Summer Masters 1, and we are at our final. We are down to just 2 players. We started with 8, and then we have Legendaren and Unskiller here in the final. We're going to preview all 4. We break it down ahead of our final coming in just a little bit here, Lothar. But 2 upsets in the semi-finals, and now we have a final that I don't think any of us predicted.
1 upset. I said the Legendaren will win this.
This is true. You called Legendaren, and I guess you've got to maybe be looking at Legendaren as your favorite to win now.
Yeah, I guess Legendaren seems like a more solid player. He has also a solid lineup, and Hawkeye did miss that part, I think. So I think that Legendaren is favored here to win, and it's a best of 7 with a revival rule. So he can use that for as his advantage to use the his favorite deck to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same goes for Unskiller, of course.
So you can bring the best of 7. Of course, they have 3 decks each, and you can bring back one of your decks once you've won with it a second time. So it's still Conquest, but you get to win with one deck twice rather than just once. So that's how the best of 7 works, as I say. So a little bit different for the best of 5s. And does that add a different wrinkle to it? Sort of, how do you use the revival, and what decks do you think they might be targeting that revival on?
There's 2 ways to look at it generally. As Lothar said, you can have. There's some people who come to Conquest with the strategy of I'm just going to take the 3 decks that I am strongest with. It's basically like pick good decks, play them well. That's the strategy.
Which always should work out in theory.
That should work out in theory, yeah. In that situation, you have the opportunity to just revive, your absolute favorite deck. I know every matchup with this deck inside out. I can play absolutely optimally with everything.
Exactly.
But then there's the alternate option of just maybe one of your decks is just super powerful against the lineup, and you have the opportunity to revive that as well. In this set, we have almost a mirror match. It's just the difference of, I believe,
Hunter and Warlock.
Hunter and Warlock, yeah.
Both Rogue and Warrior.
Yeah, but this tends to favor Unskiller a little if he queues up the Warlock into the Hunter. I mean, he queues up his Hunter into the Warlock.
Because the Hunter is definitely favored in that matchup. Yep. But yeah, there's potential for, Rogue is particularly strong. It's decent against Malagos Lock. It's decent against mid-range Hunter. So there's a good chance that Rogue could be the revival here, and he might try and sneak through two wins with the Rogue. It could work out really well for him. But like you said, there's definitely an extra strategic element to the revival rule.
Well, let's take a look at. Let's just take a quick look at Legendaren's road to the final here, so we can see the matches that we've had so far. You see Legendaren dropped in the lower bracket of his group, losing to Nick Chipper early on, but was able to avenge that loss in the lower final, and then 3-0 Tom in our first semi-final of the day, which was our first 3-0 that we've seen on the stream. It was very surprising, as Tom was one of the favourites, though Lothar, of course, called it. He'll remind us over and over again that he called it for Legendaren.
Yep.
And so Legendaren had a pretty good load to the final, beating Deathalor as well in the lower bracket, that elimination match. Which to put Deathalor out, which we said was the surprise of day 1. Legendaren probably has been feeling pretty confident with his results coming in.
Yeah, well, definitely making a 3-0 in a semi-final against a decent player should boost his ego. If that's good, we don't know. Maybe it will motivate him to be more aggressive, because he was kind of lacking the aggressiveness with his Rogue, and we'll see if he actually changes that. In such an environment when you actually can hear feedback from other players, from the casters maybe too, after the game, maybe he will think about how do you play that matchups with the Rogue, and maybe he will actually make an improvement there.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely, that's the key point, as we pointed out in the last set. That there was just lacking
of the issues with his play in that semi-final.
So.
Obviously, we're hoping that he isn't able to improve on that, and he'll be looking to improve. Maybe he's got a little bit more weighing on his mind coming up the semi-finals, and also he hasn't had the break that Legendaren's had.
Yeah, well, I will actually say that this might be a really huge factor here, not having a break, because he didn't have the time to actually think through what did he do wrong. And there are numerous mistakes that if he tends to do them again, they might cost him the final. And this is the most important match of his career, at least until this point.
Yeah, the break can kind of work 2 ways. If he'd have just swept that set, played perfectly, made all the right strategic decisions, going straight into another game where you're feeling hot, you're feeling confident, that can work in your favor. But in this situation where we kind of all feel that he needed to sit down and really evaluate his play and take a look at least the speed at which he was playing.
Yeah, maybe compose himself, and that's something he maybe didn't have the time to do.
Yep.
So that's going to be potentially a factor. But let's talk about how big an opportunity this is for both of these players. Both these players, not players with big tournament wins, not players with big offline wins, big careers in Hearthstone so far, but Lothar, what does this mean to these? You know, you of course have been in this position in tournaments and yourself. You have people in your organization, the Elam, you know, life coach obviously recently getting his first big wins. How big an opportunity is that, and what does that mean to players?
I think this is the biggest achievement and one of the most memorable to you as a player, because that's your first tournament win, and you want to have that in your pocket. So I think that it might affect both players really tremendously, because they will be feeling the nerves. Like now, this is the last match. This is the best of 7. This is the match that I want to win, and I do that like in front of 1,000 people watching the Twitch. So it really means a lot. I mean,
yeah, and that can go two ways. Sort of, you can use it to fuel you, to make you passionate and focus more, or it can affect your nerves. Yeah,
it really can. And again, like, we don't want to harp on the point, but it does seem like both of these players are a little bit susceptible to it. And there's no blame to be proportioned to that. Like, this is the biggest matchup of their career. Like, nerves are to be expected, but some players kind of naturally flourish under that condition where they can turn nerves, you know, into focus. And these players just seem to be, unfortunately, turning nerves into a bit of uncertainness and a few misplays.
Yeah, they tend to tilt.
Right, yeah. Sorry, just a reference to the Tom literal tilt yesterday, which was one of the most fantastic moments of the tournament. But yeah.
Absolutely. We will talk a little bit about highlights of the tournament at the end of the day. I think lots
to
think
about. Well, I won't, because I won't be here.
Well, it's sort of what was your highlight of the tournament overall? Well, obviously, we're going to, at the end of the game, we're going to come back with a winner's interview, so you won't be joining us. This is the last we'll see of you. So,
right.
What was your highlight of the tournament?
Honestly, I would just have to give it, like, I've really enjoyed watching Hawkeye play this weekend. There is, like, I'm aware of my position in, like, the Hearthstone standings, and I know there's a tier of player that is still above me, and I think after watching Hawkeye play this weekend, I think he's in that tier. He's made some spectacular plays that were very insightful, showing a lot of strategic knowledge of a lot of things. I've really just enjoyed watching Hawkeye play.
Last thing from your prediction, who's going to take the final?
I will go for Legendaren.
Lothar sticking with Legendaren?
Yeah, me too.
United front up here in the analyst desk. Let's take it down to your casters for this best of 7 final. It's going to be Nimsh and Kaldi. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Oh man, Kaldi, I'm so excited for the final. Unskiller, my black-pink horse, was actually a dark horse, versus Legendaren. Who do you think is going to take it?
I think yesterday I was looking at the matchups, and I said that both of these players would demolish Tom, and I think that was the case. I think Hawkeye's been playing the best so far in the tournament, but you know, after seeing the semifinals, I have to give it to Legendaren. He looked so solid, and he also played great yesterday. So, you know, just on the plays, I feel like he's looking favored there. Yeah. All
right, so Legendaren is bringing practice and then gaming culture to the final. I will say it's Unskiller actually who's going to take it. So everybody wants Legendaren to win, but Unskiller is the force of Hearthstone. He's playing so fast, and some people are saying whenever it's green, he's playing it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I believe in my opinion, he brought the strongest matchup, the strongest lineup to this tournament, and I think he's actually favored against Legendaren. But Legendaren has been making fewer mistakes. He's been in the scene for longer. I remember him, you know, like January 2013, in terms of, you know, playing in these online tournaments and making it far. He was always a force to be reckoned with. So I feel in a best of 7, he should be able to, you know, capitalize on the mistakes. But for a best of 5, I still feel like, you know, Unskiller will be favored for that. But in the 7 games, he may just bring it back. So, you know, stronger lineup for Unskiller, but stronger play from Legendaren, I think.
So you're literally saying that Legendaren is going to outskill Unskiller?
I think so, yeah.
All right. The players are in their booths, Unskiller with the microphone up. Yeah, the game is starting for them. So the first match we are going to see is Hunter versus Rogue. And by the way, I just want to throw the Legendaren. I was talking to him before this match, and he said that he feels that the matchup, as you said, is better for Unskiller. He needs to win with his Malygos lock. Like his Malygos lock is his weak link in this.
Oh yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, Hawkeye's Hunter is not excellent in this scenario, but it can beat the Mali lock, you know, and that's going to be probably enough. So I feel like if Legendaren wins with the Warlock once, he can just pick the Rogue again and be in great position to take this.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Alright, so we can see Hunter versus Rogue, as I said, midrange versus Oil Rogue.
And now he attacks into the Hunter Creeper, which basically gives it away that there's going to be a fan of knives in the hand. But with the backstab, he can just simply skip it and go for it anyway, attack in and fan of knives there. So things looking okay for Legendaren. I mean, the cards you want here is the Hunter, or the Loatheb, the Shredders, the Unknown Companion is great, the Savannah even, but for Legendaren it's going to be about the preps, the consistent curve of minions and the sap in the late game. You know, sapping the Savannah is basically where it's at. If you can attack once with the Savannah, you lose. That's the saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if Savannah goes to face, that's the moment you win. Who do you think has an edge overall in this matchup? Is it 50-50 or is like Rogue slightly favored?
I actually kind of depends on how fast the Hunter is. I feel like if the Hunter is running Arcane Golems and the I guess the Wolf Fighters, I feel like he's at a slight advantage. But in this case, with this deck that Unskiller has, I give the Rogue a slight edge.
All right. Well, for now it looks that Unskiller was able to build a stable board. He has that Mad Scientist as well, and he is playing a Snake Trap in this deck. So I believe double freezing one Snake Trap with Fun of Times already used, snakes might actually deal some damage.
Yeah, it's possible though for the unstable, Unleash the Hounds to come into play here, as it's generally about the worst card you could possibly get for Hunter against Rogue there. He doesn't fade in okay, so playing aggressively. He has Dr. Boom to follow up, but next turn is going to be pretty dry, I think, from Legendaren. From Unskiller.
Yeah, so for Legendaren though, he picks preparation, so he might have a tempo play.
It's gotta be Sap, perhaps Sap, but does he play the Azure Drake first? Or does he possibly like try to draw into something with prep sprint? It's gonna be very risky.
Well, if we assume that Lothab is going to face, then Azure Drake is building up a board pretty nicely, and he can maybe pick up something good for the next turn.
I think I like Azure Drake, prep, Sap.
Why not Azure Drake first?
Yeah, Azure Drake, prep, Sap, I mean, yeah. In terms of that.
Oh, he goes for the sprint. So at this moment he thinks that he can still sap the Pilot Shredder and just building up the quality of his hand with the sprint.
The idea though that I think he was going for was to get the flurry, and he didn't get the flurry, so this is not going to be paying off. But had he gotten, you know, if he gets the flurry, it's better to go for the sprint. If he doesn't get the flurry, it's just way better to go for the Astro and get the tempo and be able to trade in without, I mean, this is painful here.
Oh man, that Savannah Hyman was just crazy. Exactly on curve, with the Dr. Boom just waiting to be there next turn.
And I mean, thankfully Legendaren not going to get punished for this, for not throwing the flurry here, but as there's no kill command and a second Savannah.
Another Savannah, wow.
Actually, like the talk is that, you know, the first Savannah is amazing, but generally the second Savannah is bad in terms of that, as you know.
You prefer a kill command, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Bow even, you know, like.
But he's still in a good position because Legendaren at the moment is at 11, and those boom bots might actually hit face.
Oh yeah, but he got the flurry he needed here, so he could possibly, you know, bounce one of the boom bots and trade into the Savannah, cleared everything up. Had he had one eviscerate though, everything would be different.
The question is, will he have enough time to actually push for the tempo? Because right now he's really defensive, trying to clear the board.
I think so. I think he needs to be possibly looking at, you know, a twin. Is that a possibility here? He's probably gonna prep the flurry. That's gonna be 3 mana, 6 mana. Probably doesn't need to prep the flurry.
Alright, basically like he creates the weapon, he goes with that depoison. Unless, wait, is he going Azure Drake and flare with spell damage?
I think it's gonna be either, yeah, I think it's gonna be either a twin or Shredder here. But I like dropping the minion first to possibly get the boom bots not to go to face in this case.
Okay. So now the boom bots from Unskiller will be super important. Killing the boom, killing the bot.
Oof. He goes for the riskier play, but it's gonna be rewarded here as he gets a 6/6 at win. Both minions die though. Savannah dropped instantly, and we barely see the drop before he's played it. 9 health here. I mean,
Unskiller has no time, man. Like he needs to win this final as fast as possible.
Late
Sap!
For the flight, right? Yeah. Oof.
Sap top deck is pretty good.
He also has the prep still for a possible sprint, but I mean, yeah, I think Azure Drake is a definite here.
Yeah, so this is a classic example when Savannah Hyman is not doing that much if you have the sap ready for it.
I mean, had it been a you know, a Lothab or something, like, be much stronger.
And the healbot top deck as well. So
just what it needed.
The thing is, if there is a kill command draw, that will be it.
Yeah, in terms of the Unleash, I mean, Unleash might be huge in this case.
Yeah, so Unleash kill commands.
He's got 5 now. He basically the kill command here. Quick shot might do it though. Nah, it's 1-off.
Yeah, quick shot is 1-off.
Ouch.
So do you quick shot Pilot Shredder, try to get a Doomsayer? Oh, he's going to... So how much damage is there? There's 10 points of damage incoming.
He's in such a hurry though.
You can still get that heal command, but then with the heal bot, there will be 13 points of health. So out of range.
And it looks like he's top deck the lethal, and indeed he gets the Visual, so Legendaren can go up 1-0 here in this final.
That was a fast game.
Oh yeah, both of them in a hurry, but still, yeah, well played, honestly. Like they... Unskilled looked more solid than in the previous series.
Yeah, definitely. So Unskiller knew what he was doing. If a single kill command would actually finish the game, he was one of lethal. But still, it's only the first win in the best of 7 series. So now the players have to think what to do. And we see that the Rogue, for now, Rogue is locked for Legendaren, but we do introduce the revival system. So when Legendaren goes through all his decks and he wins with Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior, he will need to decide which deck to revive to play the last game for the win.
I think the key is going to be which deck they choose. I can't imagine Unskiller bringing the Hunter again. I can't imagine Legendaren bringing the Warlock again. I think those are going to be the weak points. This comes down to the Rogue, possibly. I would like to see both of them actually revive Rogue. But I mean, this 1-0 here is not a big deal for either of the players, as you know. Legendaren is going to be winning with the Rogue pretty easily anyway. It's favor versus the Patron, it's decent versus the Hunter, you know, and obviously there's going to be the mirror that's going to be close as Unskiller is running that Harrison.
Yeah, the only question is, can he really win with Malygos Warlock?
It's going to be tough. I think if he was to win, it would be against the Hunter here.
I think he can also try grabbing a win versus Green Patron. It is favoring Green Patron, but it's really close to 50-50.
It's a really tough matchup, though. You got to play perfectly. We saw, you know, Hawkeye attempted and he fell just short there against Unskiller here.
Yeah, because of the implosion, he actually gave a chance to the Green Patron to come back, which was used by the Unskiller.
So many cards that have just become a huge liability in the late game. Now we have Hunter against the Warrior. Not too bad for the Hunter, but it's probably the matchup most of the pros argue about which deck is actually going to be favored.
Yeah, which side is winning, because there are so many things that needs to happen. Like Warrior has to have the weapons to call the early aggression, and then maybe Torisan to be able to get Warsong and Patron cheaper to take over the game. We've seen Tom playing this match as a tempo match from Patron's perspective, playing Warsong on turn 3. So many different approaches. And just looking at the cards right now, Legendaren already getting Deathspite, Acolyte, and Dread Courser. He is playing the Dread Courser version. That's
I want to mention one thing though. Unskiller threw away the bow, and I don't like that from him. I think keeping the bow was nice. He ended up throwing it again, but it's such a decent card. I mean, it counters the Shredder, it counters the Acolyte of Pain. You know, it's decent against the Patron as well. You can get even more charges with the Trap, but decent hand here overall from an Unskiller.
Yeah,
I like Legendaren's play as well. I mean, Coin, Deathspite, it doesn't get much better for turn 3, does it? Yeah,
it's the best you can do, unless you have a really good Acolyte play. But Deathspite it will be really good. Then Acolyte on 4. You can also get a Dread Courser for free. Unless there is a bow on board, then you keep the Dread Courser and wait for a better moment.
But yeah, this actually is a very easy matchup for the Hunter in the early game. All the plays could kind of make themselves. A horrible animal companion though, yeah. Oof.
Well, there's always 4 points of damage if there is a Deathspite coming, and in fact there is. Armorsmith as well will be a very important card later, so that he can get back. Do you play Courser though? I believe you might play it. There is no Eagle combo yet, and sometimes you want to keep it so that it actually tanks those minions, but we know there is the bow. Double secret, so Unskiller's hand is actually getting worse. Savannah Hammy will be important on 6, but he needs some more beef.
I'm not sure about this play though. I mean, let's think of the scenario if he draws the 3rd trap here. He's just basically lost the game. I mean, a lot of this is going to die to the Deathspite anyway, and maybe he figures that he's okay with him attacking in there, but if he's got only one weapon, maybe to save it. But
yeah, he's playing so fast, and normally you always attack with your weapon, and you want the minions to stay on board. That's why he was not thinking about that play that much. But when you're mentioning it, that trading into Courser made a lot of sense.
This is the final, though. I mean, he flew all the way out here for this, so I feel like he shouldn't be hurrying this much. It's a tough call either way, you know.
It really depends on the player, you know. Like Unskiller is playing super fast. That's his style. He's always doing that. So right now, like reducing his pace of play will be difficult. Oh my God, the beast!
Ouch.
That's not the best 5-drop that you can get. The Haunted Creeper. And what's the secret? Is that that's the freezing trap, right?
It's gotta be. I mean, I can't imagine him running 2 snake traps. Possibly a misdirect, wouldn't that be funny?
All right. I doubt it's misdirect actually, but yeah. Grommash for Legendaren. So what can Legendaren do in this position?
I feel like he can do a lot of things.
Battle
Maybe just start with Battle Rage.
Yeah, Battle Rage seems good.
I mean, if he draws the Patron, it's almost lights out.
What can you do against the floating creeper?
Yeah, I think this might be a spectator bug.
Yeah, obviously it is, because there was a keeper on board and a steady shot. It sometimes happens, unfortunately. But Legendaren is going to go for motions with his turn, and starting with Battle Rage grants him cards. What is that he really wants to do? Is that gaining armor or trying to set up for a big flooding turn?
I think it's gotta be the Patron. Possibly a Thorism would be decent for the following turn, but yeah, he's getting another draw here. I think at this point it might even be viable to just trade in so he doesn't proc the freezing trap. I mean, if he gets 2 draw out of the Acolyte and procs the freezing trap, could that get any better?
Oh wow, there is a Warzone Commander. But the problem against Hunter from Green Patron's perspective is that you get all the cards, but you will not have enough time to play them most of the time.
There's no execute, that's a big thing here. You know, you can't really deal with the Savannah without taking tons of damage here. And you may just have to take this, you know, what is it going to be? Probably 8-9 damage, you know, and one kill commander or another bow, and everything is up for grabs here. But
yeah, but on the other hand, if he extends the board with Green Patrons and if he doesn't die, he will have a chance to win with one big flooding attack.
Oh yeah, this is what you have to do as Legendaren. There's no other play. I mean, you'll kill him in 2 or 3 turns. It's just gonna come down to who. Oh, and the kill command! Wow.
And is that enough?
It's not enough, but it's close. Oh, I think you do not waste 1 single damage here in this case. I don't know about that. I mean, you need to set up lethal next turn, I think.
Well, he has, in theory, 7 if there is no armor up. And with this, if you want to win, you can armor up. But there is an armor smith though.
The armor smith is going to make all the difference here. It should clean up the board. And yeah, I mean, we might be looking at a 2-0 here for Legendaren.
Yeah, it seems pretty good for Legendaren. He's going to clear the board, get a lot of armor. Can he? Yeah, he can definitely clear the board.
He's getting
with the freezing
at least 6 armor.
And then Unskiller is out of cards, and Beast, both with the Snake Trap, are not good.
Could be, what, 13 health at least here? Oh, he gets the charge as well with the ward. Okay, this is, yeah, way more. It could be 16, 15, 16 health here. Oof.
Alright, so an excellent turn. Probably no secrets for Unskiller. He used both freezing traps, and the Snake Trap is just lying in his hand. If he gets Unleash the Hounds, that's 7 plus 7. Will he have enough mana?
He will, yeah.
He's praying for Unleash the Hounds, and he didn't get it. Yeah, Unleash the Hounds was lethal.
It was, yeah. Close enough, but I'm not sure he runs 2 of them. It's been the card people are cutting right now, as a lot of the matchups he just fall short. He did get 1 this turn though.
Yeah, and he used 1 already.
But Legendaren looking so solid. He's been playing really well. That's what I was talking about. You know, it's a best of 7. He has many games to kind of just eke out that advantage, even though he's not favored on the matchups. But yeah.
Do you think, like, for Unskiller is that he is happy already with what he did? Because a lot of people, they are actually happy with the money that they're getting for the top 2. So he's not that much into winning the whole thing. He's already there, so he's kind of relaxed about it. He doesn't really want to win. Like, even though everybody wants to win, right? But sometimes I've been facing players who are just happy. Hey, I'm top 4. I did it. That's it.
But I mean, we've seen that before. We saw Sources in the first Gfinity, you know, play amazing in the semi-final and then just fall short in the final. Same with, you know,
Crowbar
as well. Yeah. He started trolling and played the Dark Whispers there with the Innovate, you know, just for fun, and Firebat mopped both of them up with easy wins and got a lot of money, you know. So I feel like it just comes from the experience. I mean, Legendaren's been playing Hearthstone, you know, for well, probably 2 years now, even, yeah, a year and a half.
Kaldi, yourself, have you been in many finals before?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In how many finals have you been?
10 or so, yeah.
So it's.
But I mean, if you can't count online or offline, it's a thing.
But like, it is a different experience to be in the final. It's much different than top 4 even. So like you have to have the mindset, and you just really need to be there mentally to take the win in the final, because you can easily get scared. It's like, can I really win this? Can I be the champion?
Oh yeah, I think the first one is the big one, you know. Like, that's when the nerves get you, but for the second one, you're kind of more calm and collected and just thinking about the plays, you know, not thinking about being in the final, you're just thinking about one turn ahead. And
yeah, it is overwhelming. And also the format is different, because right now it's best of 7 revival. So really it is not a comfort zone for those guys, especially for Unskiller being there for the first time.
Oh yeah. It's also different between, I guess, offline and online, you know. With offline, you played maybe 12 hours or something through the bracket, you know, and then it's kind of, you come so far, you can't be falling short now and make it all go be for nothing, you know. So I think there's more pressure on winning in terms of that, because often on online there's nothing for second place, you know. Maybe you know, 300-400 person bracket, there's nothing for second, so you just gotta go all out. But whereas offline here, it's maybe you're more content with second place, but you know. That only happens, I think, in the first final. For the second one, you really, you know.
Yeah, you're there for the second time, so you know the experience. All right, so a big test for the Malygos Lock from Legendaren. Can he win this match? If he can win with the Malygos Lock, he'll be in an amazing position to take the final.
Oh yeah, just mentally being 3-0 up in a best of 7. That doesn't get better than that. A decent start from both players. Oh wow. Unskiller getting everything he could ever want.
Yeah, double pilot the Shredder and an Eagle Hornbow, even the Hunter's Mark for a possible Twilight Drake. From Legendary's perspective, you can't be too sad about your hand. As you said, it looks good with the Twilight Drake and Azure Drake. Even though versus Hunter, you might want to have Imp Gang Boss instead of Farseer on 3.
Oh yeah, it's considerably better, you know, but you can't complain though about a curve like that from. And even the Savannah, wow, okay.
Yep, that's a perfect curve. He has on 5.
I want to see him attack with Mad Scientist. Okay, he goes good for that here. Good play there.
He got it. Yeah. Secret works with weapons, so...
The thing is, it's so much better to go for the Mad Scientist in terms of playing around Hellfire.
Yeah.
It's a real threat here. You should probably Azure Drake, I like that, but it's gonna be weak, especially to the Freezing Trap now.
Oh man, and he spent both dragons already.
I think you 100% ignore this. As Unskiller this push for damage.
That's true. I'm just looking at this Blackwing Troll Raptor, and that was a bad moment.
Oh yeah.
So what can Legendaren do to come back from this point? Like, is Hellfire the answer?
I think this is gonna be a crucial turn. You know, like players that have less experience often tend to trade more. But I'm thinking here, why attack with a bow? Like, it doesn't have a second weapon in hand. That's kind of the impression that he's giving by attacking with the bow here. Is he fearing a Harrison? Because that's not you generally run in Malygos.
Possibly Ooze. You normally run one Ooze in the deck.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you never run Harrison, but you run one Ooze instead of one Owl. Alright, so here Legendary in a very bad position. You might actually start thinking about Doomsayer.
Or just tap into Hellfire, yeah. Like, you're getting desperate in this case.
You can maybe... What do you think about Silence Darkbone?
I don't know. I feel like you depends on the tap. I think if you're gonna do something, you tap. Did tap or heal bot.
And he is not going to be happy about seeing that high main on 6.
But I mean, if he saved the bow now, he could just trade into the heal bot with the bow, and it'll be so much better than attacking with this Shredder here.
Here Unskiller playing really well.
Hellfire! Wow.
There is a Hellfire, but like Unskiller was playing around getting the heal bot returned with the freezing trap. What is going to happen with the Hellfire though?
I mean,
silence Hellfire.
You have to attack. I think you start with I think you start with attacking actually.
You attack into what? Into Savannah high main? But there is
into
a
minion essentially.
There is a freezing trap.
Yeah, and then you go for the Hellfire, and you may need to go for even Owl and Soulfire, but it's gonna be a lot of cards discarded in this case. Yeah, he attacks first. I like this. You don't want to be wasting the proc in terms of if you go for the Hellfire for 4. You don't need the extra damage here.
Corruptor is active.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he will be able to play it next turn.
The plays. No, I prefer Owl Soulfire. Okay.
Yeah, that might be the only choice. If he discards Azure Drake, then Corruptor.
Oh, and the heal bot is the worst on discard here.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, he definitely needed it, but then he does have Defender Vargas still.
I mean, if Unskiller was paying attention to the draws, he noticed that there was a top deck, and he obviously, if he had the Hellfire last turn, he should have gone for the Hellfire. So
yeah,
there's no question there.
Unskiller's style is so straightforward. He just plays minions and goes for phase, trades sometimes, but really playing super fast.
We were talking about this earlier at DreamHack, and the idea is, okay, do you take a full minute and a half for each turn, or do you, I guess, just look at the best play and just stick with it? Because, you know, if you look at people like Life Coach, for example, who thinks every turn, I think if you try to emulate that playstyle, you may possibly just be, you know, overthinking things and talking yourself out of plays which would have been better to go for.
So you think like this style is good? Just don't think, just go for the intuition player?
I think you gotta go middle way. You know, you can't go all in on playing fast, but you know, just don't overthink things. I think is the main thing.
There's something in the other game. There are some players who are called instinct players. Unskiller might be one of those guys. He is in the final and he's playing on instinct. Like just finds the play that he thinks is best, and he does it without thinking. And I've noticed him last match, he was actually shaking his head from time to time. So like, he does the play, which is on instinct best, and then he thinks about it when he has some time. It's like, oh no, I don't think that was good, but
I think, you know, the general thing with the newer players versus the more experienced players is the experienced players think out the whole turn as a whole, but the less experienced players may just look at the best play to start with. So, you know, they may just go for that, what was the Harrison in the last game, and then they didn't think about prepping in terms of overdrawing, etc. Because you need to, and tapping first instead of, you know, playing a minion and then tapping at the end, you know, because you could possibly get another card you'd want.
Yeah, that's true. There's also a saying in chess that actually, with regards to how many moves you can predict in chess, there is not much difference between the pro and the novice player. But the novice player actually thinks about turns that are useless, like the moves that you should never do. So that is pretty interesting. All right, so for now, Legendaren is still winning 2-1, but the Malygos deck falls down. So the big question is, can he take a game with that deck? We are going to see that after a short break.
And it all comes down to this Stormwind champion versus Ogre Brute.
I'm feeling really good about Stormwind here.
Whoa.
Am I seeing this right?
Could be a scare tactic, Bob. Could be nerves.
I don't think scare tactics work with ogres.
You know from experience.
Okay, well, let's not get into my personal life.
Hold that thought. Looks like we have a substitution. It's Tinkmaster Overspark.
This guy's a very technical player. His game's about nuance, precision.
Whoa, that's Hearthstone.
Play it free on your phone or PC.
Hey guys, welcome back to Gfinity Summer Masters. It is Summer Masters, right?
Yeah, the Summer Masters.
Summer already. Oh man, the time flies. I'm your host Nimsh, and I'm joined here by Kaldi, my co-host. We've just seen Legendaren losing with his Malygos deck for the first time. Do you think he's going to lose 3 more times?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, he'll need to get a win with the Malygos overall. I mean, Unskiller has a stronger lineup, but he's just been playing... Legendaren has been playing better, I think, overall. We've seen, I think, no misplays or very minor things, you know, all weekend. He's been playing so well, so I think, you know, it's going to be his match to lose here.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Unskiller is representing the force of Hearthstone. I define him as an instinct player, so we'll see if like pure form of Hearthstone without single thought. No, he's definitely thinking about his plays as well, but really the pace is actually amazing.
I feel, you know, that's better for decks like Sue or Hunter, etc., or maybe Paladin even, Druid, you know, but when it comes to the Rogue and Warrior, you do need to be, you know, I guess bit passive in terms of how you think the turns through. So yeah, he did get a win with the Hunter, but I think it'll come down to the Warrior and the Rogue here.
Do you think, like, have you ever faced a player like Unskiller playing so fast?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Isn't it unnerving? Like, you face this guy and he makes his plays so fast, you think like, oh, he has some obvious plays, or like those plays are so good that he just doesn't have to even think about them.
Not currently. I mean, you often think, okay, he might be nervous, you know. Maybe you even play into it by playing fast yourself, you know, on the easy turns, you know, then pulling back a bit, you know.
Yeah, so like it can make you actually play faster out of your pace, and you can start making mistakes yourself.
I'm happy when people play fast against me. I love that, yeah.
All right.
Both saves time and you know, and I guess also, you know, gives them less time to think about their turns. I mean, often it's just obvious, but because you maybe don't see the misplays yourself because you don't see what options your opponent has in these spots here.
But on the other hand, you'll have less time thinking about your plays on their turns, because what you do in Hearthstone, you can think on during your turn, but then your opponent's turn, you can also think what you want to do. But
I guess that comes into play if you are roping return, you know. But in general, we're gonna see here Rogue for Unskiller against the Malilock again.
Yeah, my favorite deck, Malilock. Can it win versus Rogue? What do you think about this matchup overall?
So I played Rogue at DreamHack Summer, and I faced 5 Malilocks.
And how did it go?
I lost to Hawkeye, but I won the rest. So I think the matchup is looking favored for the Rogue, but the Rogue does need to get good draws in general. It's about providing bringing the pressure, it's kind of like we're talking about Paladin versus Hunter. You need those 2-3 minions to put the pressure on and really just, you know, kind of suffocate the Warlock there. And we see already Unskiller ahead here, playing lightning fast as always.
Yeah, just killing those minions. From I play this matchup from the Malilock's perspective, and it's exactly what you said. Like, what I want to do as a Malilock, I want to set up those big minions, use my Twilight Drake, use my Corruptor to kill your minions as a rogue, and just keep your board clean at all times.
And Harvison here in the Malilock, so maybe that what we were talking about with the bow last game, you know, from Unskiller throwing that out preemptively even, you know. But now we have the sap at something. Yeah, but all of the, you know, on the flip side, the turn is going to be pretty sad though in general for Unskiller.
So is he going to make a weapon now?
He should, but he shouldn't deadly poison it, I think.
Well, no, you definitely don't throw deadly poison.
Yeah.
But then you do play out into that Harrison if he decides to play it.
It also doesn't, I guess, combo with the Tinker's Oil here.
So Legendaren drops Harrison. This is a very important moment because it's a great card that you need to deal with. But what are the cards affected? So Harrison will be amazing. There is one combo part which is a Dark Bomb, but overall he's going for just quality play starting from next turn. So not that many combo cards got affected, but the fact that he has a cheaper heal bot, cheaper Sludge Belcher will be important in this match.
I like his play though with the SI. I was thinking about possibly Tinkers, you know, but that would, I guess, not be as aggressive. You need to burst with the Tinkers generally. But I mean, this is looking great here for Unskiller. Had he gone for the Tinkers, you've been in a lot of trouble now, as we do see the Harrison come down now. Dark Bomb is not bad though at all. I kind of wouldn't mind that.
Oh yeah, definitely, because you have a second Dark Bomb anyway. On the other hand, it's not like you ever use Dark Bomb with Malygos because Thorison is already out.
Oh yeah. I think this has to be the turn though where you sprint. Oh, he kind of disagrees here. Alright, but how is he gonna sequence this?
It seems like he wanted to eviscerate Harrison, but he doesn't have a way to do it.
I mean, yeah, like, if he sets up for Tinker's next turn with Flurry, there's generally almost no board that can actually just survive against that. I mean, this is...
Yeah, that was a play that was too fast, because I do agree that sprint was the best play here, but maybe he really values his minions on board.
I mean, now you can see the Twilight Drake drop down again, possibly Implosion or Dark Bomb, even with a tap.
What do you think about, like, Hellfire, Harrison attacks face, and then Twilight Drake? Like, Twilight Drake will be a bit smaller, but you're staring only at 4 cards, and you're really pressuring the Rogue, because you feel like Rogue will have to sprint maybe next turn if he has it.
I mean, it does 3 damage to your guy, and then 3 damage to the heal bot. So 6 and 3, so it's kind of like just Dark Bomb, you know. Be the same effect as playing the Dark Bomb and trading into the 3-3, you know.
Alright.
So, don't mind this though, yeah. So, let's not play again here.
Is he going to... Okay, he refreshes the weapon to make an oil and a big flurry. And he can actually attack 6 to face with the heal bot as well. That's 10 points of damage, and he still has Eviscerate, so this is so much damage from Unskiller. There is a heal buff though.
Still, I mean, couldn't he have just sprinted last turn? You know, okay, he wouldn't have had the heal bot on the board, but he could still have gone, you know, close to clearing this. I mean,
yeah, it's a different type of game he's playing.
Only 2 from the Impulsion. We have the heal bot, so there's no chance now. Yeah, and Unskiller looking nervous here about that last play.
He took the gamble. He took the gamble that he wants to be super aggressive. A second eviscerate.
That's what you need, but it's maybe a bit too late.
The rest of preparation doesn't change much unless...
He's playing so fast again.
Yeah, he is like... Okay, so for Legendaren, that's 7 points of damage plus 6 from his hand. Can he deal even more?
I think I like his play of not attacking, because now he can possibly sprint into Deadly Flurry. I mean, he's got a Flurry left though, and he'll need to draw into that if he's going to come back in this game.
He's playing so fast, it's really hard to catch up what's going on in this game. But from Legendaren, there is a lot of possible bursts coming. So I would not hate Dark Moon Phase at this point to just set up lethal for next turn.
I mean, why not just prep Fan next turn? Be so much stronger. Prep Fan next turn. Wow, okay.
Alright, so with Deadly Poison, I guess he's going face. He doesn't have any choice, right? There's 11 points of damage coming, so this is lethal from my perspective.
Oh yeah, this was, yeah.
And Legendaren is going to take game number 4, extends his lead to 3-1 versus Unskiller, gets that very important Malilock win, and now he can revive any deck. I suppose he's not reviving Malilock.
Oh no, there's no way. I think it's gotta be the Rogue. He played the Rogue excellently over this weekend, so I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Maybe he has another idea in terms of maybe the maybe the Warrior. I don't know.
Whatever deck he revives, he's stuck with it. So.
Oh yeah.
And he needs to win only once, but Unskiller to win the series, Unskiller has to win 3 games. So what is the deck that gives you the biggest chance to not lose 3 games in a row?
I mean, we look at the Rogue. It's decent against the Warrior. It's decent in the mirror, I'd say. He has the Harrison, but maybe Unskiller has the Harrison as well. So I think it's got to be the Warrior or the Rogue. I feel like how Legendaren have been playing. I think he has to go for the Rogue though.
Alright.
Like excellent. Maybe he wants to go for a safer option with the Warrior, as I mean, Patron Warrior just tends to draw amazing hands every now and again. So consistent, so much draw in that deck.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, but I think both decks are fine, even though Unskiller is running Harrison Jones in both his Rogue and Warrior. You're still like knowing the fact that Harrison Jones is there, you can avoid it somehow. So I feel like both Rogue and Patron. Like personally, I'll go with Patron, but that's just my style. I prefer combo decks. If Legendaren feels really comfortable with the Rogue, he will just go with it.
I think I would go Rogue here. I've got to say that, yeah. But it's going to be tough. Unskiller's now really, things are heating up in terms of he's got to win every single game right now. You know, he's got to win with the Hunter, but the Warrior and the Rogue are still left. And I mean, if he'll need to win maybe 2 Rogue mirrors and to win, you know, Patron versus.
Yeah, I have to just think like, why is he playing so fast now? Maybe he is suffocating in the booth. You know, the pressure.
It's got to be the nerves though in terms of that. But I mean, if we look at the Rogue, yeah, like 2 Rogue mirrors, he's got to win.
Yeah.
And a Warrior versus Rogue.
Yeah, that's true. And
we do indeed see the Rogue here from Legendaren. An excellent choice here. So facing against the hardest matchup right away with the Warrior against Rogue.
So, well, what's your take on that matchup? Like, I feel like Rogue versus Warrior is actually good for the Rogue.
I agree there completely, yeah.
So let's explain why is it actually good. Like Rogue has AoE cards, Rogue has Flurry, and Green Patron Warrior should give enough time for the Rogue in the very beginning of the game to actually gain the tempo, and then just Rogue should be able to ride on the tempo and steal the game. And how can actually Patron win this matchup?
It's got to be through the Death Spite. I mean, the Patron itself is so weak against Rogue because you have the board clear. It's got to be through the weapons. Pressuring early, getting a battle rage going, but in general, like Armor Smith is completely useless against Rogue almost. It feels like, you know, the Acolyte is weak because you can just kill it with Deadly Poison, you know.
Can you go for like a big Patron Armor Smith turn? We have enough time.
I mean, you don't need the armor as the Patron, you know. You need to kinda get the pressure on the Rogue, because in the late game, you know, the Rogue just wins outright.
Alright, so let's look at those hands. For Unskiller with his Green Patron, we have some draw in the very beginning. He has executes that might give him tempo from his side, so stealing tempo from the Rogue is always good.
More importantly is the coin, yeah.
Yeah, he has the coin as well. What do you think about Legendaren's hand?
I think it's mediocre. The main thing about this matchup is getting the 4-drop. Because if Unskiller can set up for a Death Spite with no 4-drop coming down from the Rogue, it's almost lights out for the Rogue. Now, with that slam, it's not what you want to be seeing here as the Warrior just slamming on turn 3.
Yeah,
wow, I think that's maybe a bit too eager here.
Well, it's not like he really needs it, I feel. He has a Nomish on 4, and then he got the Torison as well. So he wants, at this point, he wants to draw as much as possible.
I think the main thing is he's likely to be using a Whirlwind effect in the next few turns. So why not just take a few damage? I mean, 6 damage, even 9 damage is fine when you're 31, you know?
Yeah.
It's not until the late game with the health rate doesn't matter for the Warrior, but the Archer Drake now, the tempo in Legendaren's favor. I love this backstab here. Well played to him. He'll have the option of Shredder and Flurry, Shredder and Eviscerate next turn, and there's not much that the Warrior can do. I mean, he's got a coin that Thorison, but then we have the pile of the Shredder Eviscerate next turn.
Do you really coin Thorison?
Is there another option here? I don't even see another option here.
Because like if you coin Thorison, you're hitting Frothing and you're hitting Patron, and you will have some free executes, which is nice. But it's not like you're gaining that much.
I mean, the thing is, it's about the alternatives, you know. Inner Rage execute Armor Smith. You're trading 2 into 0, because I mean the Archer Drake is essentially 0 card because he draws a card, you just cycle with that.
I agree that's true. I agree that's true in a tempo game. But if Unskiller is playing more of a control combo game, then he can still afford to wait.
The thing is, you know, the Warrior has a lot of health in this scenario, and you need to be using that as a resource, you know. Waiting a bit, getting the better combos, not throwing away. Like, if you're facing Hunter, you need to be very scared of losing health, but you know, in this matchup you can take 5-10 damage and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I do absolutely agree with you, because now he decided to play Thorison, which...
I mean, even though this Eviscerate turn comes, you know, a turn later, it's still not bad. I mean, yeah, like, we see Legendaren here, you know, using his health as a resource, you know, kinda going for that blowback, I guess.
Yeah, getting the stats up. Well, it looks really good for Legendaren. He has the tempo, and he's the one being pressuring Warrior. And the funny fact is that this is turn 7, and he still can't cast that Battle Rage and draw cards out of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, this is just. Let's think about the scenario. Had he let the Othering live, he could now have an option to Inner Rage and Battle Rage the Acolyte and get, what was it, 3 draw at least, you know?
Exactly, like you want to get...
Possibly into a Whirlwind, possibly, you know, drop drop the Patron even, so like this is just looking so bad here for Unskiller.
Yeah, for Legendaren it seems like an easy game. You just play those minions with 3+ attack, you are being aggressive, you don't allow a Patron turn, even though Unskiller has so many cards in hand. He doesn't have the War Song. Oh, he got the War Song, but he doesn't have Whirlwind effect, so it's still... If he goes for the Whirlwind...
The thing is, he'll need to get rid of the dagger first, because he can't really be going for the Patron before then. I think to note though, I mean, like, I love how Legendaren is playing this. He realizes, okay, I don't really care about the draw and a Millhouse Bannerstorm too.
The golden one!
Ouch. But the thing is, he realizes, okay, I don't really care how much draw he gets. He doesn't have enough mana to physically get all the cards out. He needs to stop my plan. So I'm just gonna ignore the Acolyte of Pain, let him draw what he wants, and just go for face.
Yeah, that's true. And Legendaren has 12 points of damage, 13 points of damage if
I think sapping Harrison is a real option here.
Definitely. That is a great tempo play, and you don't really care that much about your weapon at this point. And you know that the Warrior is not playing Brawl, so the worst that can happen is like a big Frothing turn. But right now, Unskiller doesn't have that many Whirlwind effects. He has none. And he never drew in his weapons.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, what can he do here?
He got Death Spite, but it might be too late.
I mean, think about it. He's wasted 2 Inner Rages already. If he gets a Doomsayer, possibly, I mean, it'll be the start of the comeback, but it's...
Yeah, Doomsayer will wreck his board as well, so...
A Light Well. It doesn't do, but it's not lethal yet.
Yeah, it's not. With Azure Drake?
That's a perfect throw, though. Yeah.
This is 5, 6. He's like 1 off with this. But still, Legendaren is in great position. He's the one pressuring Patron. Patron didn't get what he needed. Now with Death Spite, still no whirlwind effects. Is there anything that can do to come back?
He's gotta get a whirlwind, I think, here to have a chance at this. Or draw into it, I mean, but...
He kind of got it now with the second weapon, but that's 6 mana whirlwind.
Ouch, yeah. Not gonna be enough there. I mean, is this possibly... Is it possible for him to survive here? He's playing it fast at least, you know.
Yeah, like he has to spend all the combo pieces to stay alive.
With, I believe it's only 1 health.
With the flurry, he's... Well, Azure Drake is going to survive here. So Unskiller is just taking it at once, conceding the series. So we have our winner. Legendaren is actually taking it. This was a really impressive series, and you were on point. Legendaren was playing really well. He knew his matchup. He was selecting it, selecting the decks consciously. Unskiller seems like he played too fast.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, but Legendaren's been really impressive here.
And we have our winner. Legendaren is taking Gfinity Summer 1. He is our champion.
Really well deserved. I'm so happy.
Say I spend too much time in the forge. They think it ain't befitting a king. Ha! You don't forge legendary weapons like mine while sitting on a throne. The lands of Cosmodan are mine. And when I bring the pain, lads, it's hammer time!
So, is he gonna turn that sheep into a devil sword?
That or a squirrel, it's a 50-50 chance. Oh. Oh!
Is he okay?
An ogre stepped on him and he's a squirrel, so no.
Hearthstone, play it free, rated T.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our Gfinity Summer Masters 1 Hearthstone champion Legendaren is here with us on the panel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
Very good. I didn't expect this when I came here.
You didn't?
No.
Well, why not? You're coming to, you know...
I don't know. Hawkeye was here, I guess.
Oh, okay. But still, what's your impression of the whole tournament?
Very good tournament, and I like the format, the conquest, and the best of 7 with 1 revival.
Okay.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, you seem very confident in that final. Did you, once you got through, obviously, and saw, you said Hawkeye was the guy who you thought was going to win. Once you saw he was eliminated, did you think that you were going to win the final?
No, the other way around.
Why so?
I thought I had a good matchup versus Hawkeye. He had Paladin, and all my decks could beat Paladin, and...
That's true.
Yeah. I think I had a good matchup versus Hawkeye. I think I had a 50-50 versus Unskiller.
Because of the Hunter,
yes.
Right? Because you had the Warlock, he didn't have the Warlock,
yes.
So it's kind of like the other way around, against which would be against Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Lothar, have you got any questions for Legendaren about his play or anything you want to
Well,
into a
first of all, congratulations. Like, your place was solid for the whole 2 days. There was like, I have to point it out because, you know, my job is here to be the
You are the mean one.
Yeah, I'm the mean one.
This is the angry
like,
chair.
During the game when you played Patron Warrior against Hunter, you could have, like, there was one situation in the last turn when you played the full combo with the Armor Smith, right? And you gave your opponent a way out of this game because you were at 14 HP with 7 armor, right? 7 HP, 7 armor. And you had the Armor Smith, which could have attacked into a 2/2 creature first to gain 1 additional armor to eliminate the one out with Unleash the Hounds, Kill Command, and Hero Power, which was exactly 14.
Yes, but I thought he had the Snake Trap in his still. That's why I killed the Mad Scientist. And then, yeah, you know, I would have had 1 more armor to kill this 1 snake with the Armor Smith.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Well, anyway, well played. You're the champion now. You have the Premier Tournament title. Yeah. Well,
is this the start of a great Hearthstone esports career for you? We've seen you, you know, there and thereabouts in online tournaments, particularly way back when, but you haven't really been involved in the tournament scene in a big way. Is this something where you can use this as momentum and kick on and have a great career?
I hope so.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, I guess a lot of our viewers might not know you or know anything about you. What do you do? Are you studying or working?
Yeah, I'm studying computer science. So.
How convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
You're all day on the computer and maybe with a double screen, you know?
Yeah.
Is esports the dream career? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Give it everything you've got.
Yeah.
While he's still young.
Yeah. So let's just take a final look at that bracket. To show you the semi-finals, we can see obviously Legendaren's route to the final. Tom, 60229, you had his number, and then you came into the final against Unskiller, and I guess you made him live up to his name and took the tournament. It's been a long 2 days. Obviously, you had to come through the lower bracket. What did that feel like when you lost your first game against Nick Chipper? Did you think that you were headed for 0-2 right there?
Yeah, but I had very bad draws some games, so. You know, when I faced him again, I thought I would be eliminated because he had a better setup than me in that matchup.
Were there any particular points or plays that you want to highlight from yourself that you thought were your favorite points in series at all? Or
I had a sick play, but it was off stream. So
tell us about it. We didn't see it.
It was against Nick Chipper. He had a full board of patrons, and there was just a sick one-turn kill with the throttings, and yeah.
Oh, so it was patron versus patron.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
That's a situation we've talked about a bit in that patron mirror. That's kind of if you're in a patron mirror and your opponent goes for patrons, that's your only out. And
there's a frotting berserker roaming in the hand is like, I'll deal 60 damage to you in 1 big hit.
Well, let's see how much you're taking home. We've got the final placements here. You can see you're going home with $5,000. You can think about that on the flight home. $2,500 for Unskiller, and of course $1,250 for Tom and Hawkeye. And sadly, don't stop me, Nick Chipper, Exploding Cow, Deathalor, not taking anything home, but going home with our gratitude and thanks for coming and playing. And
a good weekend in
London. A good weekend in London, of course. They got a trip to London, and you know, that's pretty good.
And chicken Nando's.
And a lot of Nando's.
Yeah.
A lot of Nando's. Well, guys, thank you very much. Lothar, any final thoughts on the tournament? Any favorite moments you want to highlight for us?
I really loved the play from Hawkeyes with the Hellfire and Big Game Hunter on the first game. That was really sweet. That was my favorite moment on the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts from you, Legendaren?
No.
Anyone you want to thank or anything?
Nah, I guess I shout out to all my friends in Sweden.
All the friends in Sweden. Well, I hope all the people in Sweden are your friends. Now you are returning as a conquering champion, a hero of Sweden. That is all from us here at the Gfinity Arena for the Hearthstone Summer Masters 1. For myself and Lothar, I've been Callum Leslie, your host. Please join us on September the 5th and 6th for the second Gfinity Summer Masters. It's going to be an exciting tournament, Lothar. We'll see if we can have another new star created here at Gfinity Arena. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
One.